All right then, I'm a proper British gent, happy as Larry to tell you why I signed up for Matthew Donald's Patreon. As a top-tier subscriber, I get all the episodes a day early and no bleeding ads, plus a bonus episode every month about pop culture with prehistoric beasties, and if Matthew's lagging a bit, sometimes more. Last month we had a chinwag about Lilo and Stitch, Godzilla 2014, when dinosaurs roamed America, Sea Monsters with Nigel Marven, and Dino Island 2002, and this month we're off to chat about the Korean flick Dino King. It'll be a grand time for anyone willing to toss in a few pence each month. Have a good one, and I'm a real person, not one of them daft artificial intelligence voices. I'm as real as it gets. Anyway, cheerio.
Roar, growl, snarl, bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast as super as Supersaurus. Yeah, I can't believe that's a real dinosaur. It's so lame. Anyways, my name is Matthew Donald, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by the always lovely and always dependable Natasha Krech. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well today. How about you?
I am also doing well. It's a bit of a gloomy day right now.
A bit gray, yeah.
Yeah, but a bit cold. I'm going to have to walk my sister's dog here soon. It's one of my side gigs. So that's fun.
It's Colorado. Wait 5 minutes. The weather will change.
Oh, that's true. It is true indeed. Now, when this episode comes out, it will be New Year's Eve. So then 2025 is upon us. Oh man, can you believe it? These years go by so fast.
Somebody pull the brakes.
I know, like someone, like I know, like what is it? Like relativity that makes time go faster. We need an opposite of that. Like black holes make everything go by time go faster. Do the opposite. Get a white hole. Make time go by slower. That's how physics works, right?
Yeah, you would think.
I don't know if white holes are real. I think they used to be think to be a real thing, but
I long time ago heard about theoretically it was supposedly the opposite of a black hole, but
and then the two of them together were a wormhole. But yeah, I don't know. Oh man, but regardless, do you have any goals for 2025?
Spending some more time with my artwork and or going on some longer backpacking trips.
Nice. I'm also trying to do some more stuff with artwork as well. I've been working with Illustrator and Photoshop to make some more drawings. There's also a really cool animation software called Moho Animation that, unlike most other programs, it's a one-time purchase. Thank God.
What?
Yeah, you spend $400 and then it's yours. You own it. So. No subscriptions required.
Wow.
In this day and age, unheard of. Even Adobe, it's I've been living off of my Adobe Creative Suite I got for free in an art class I took at UNC, the college I went to, 10 years ago, because then I don't have to keep paying for a subscription. It's outdated, sure, but it has all the stuff I really need.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, so, so for this, I would use a Moho, and then I could maybe do some animations. I've always wanted to do a movie based off of my Megazoic books, and obviously that's a big task for a single person. So maybe I could do a proof of concept, a 5-minute proof of concept,
perhaps,
and then show it to people, and people could be like, "Oh, that looks cool. I want to help with that." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, yeah." So that's there's a lot of different ways. It's hard to see sometimes because of how domineering the big AAA sort of industry is, or the big sort of the big hitters like Disney or Universal or
yeah,
but there's the indie
on YouTube.
The indie scene for everything, whether it be animation, games, movies, it's very strong. You just got to look for it.
Correct.
There's more now than there ever has been.
Well, and a lot of it has made it big on the Prime too. The more you look at it.
Oh yeah. So
personal favorite of mine has been Hotel.
That's right. That started out as a thing by one person. You showed me that before it got popular.
Yeah, I knew about it. Before it got popular. But I'm glad more people now know about it.
Yeah, because I remember when you first showed it to me, it was a niche thing. And then I was like, oh, what's this? And then I started hearing about, well, of course, it was called something different then, because there was the series that he did, I think. Hell of a Boss. Or she did, yeah. Hell of a Boss. Was that related?
Technically at the time they were, but now that there's some intellectual property stuff and Amazon involved, I'm sure it's more complicated.
Right, but it's the same person.
Same creator.
Yeah, same creator. So, you showed me back when it was Hell of a Boss.
Hell of a Boss is still going.
Yes. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought it became Has Been Hotel. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. But yeah, and yeah, Hell of Wasp was maybe one person. I think Hasbin has a team though.
No, both have teams.
Oh, they both have teams. I thought, okay, oh, cool. Still, yeah, that's really impressive stuff. You know what's also impressive? Giant ass scorpions.
Of course, those are impressive.
What's the biggest scorpion you've ever seen?
In my time volunteering at the Butterfly Pavilion, the Emperor scorpions, which you can actually keep as pets.
What? Why?
Because they're actually kind of cool.
Yeah, but surely they could sting you. Did they remove the stinger?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's how they eat.
Oh.
They need the venom to incapacitate the
Oh,
prey.
okay. You just need to know how to not make it upset, I guess.
Most scorpions are actually pretty chill creatures.
Oh yeah, no, they hide and like they only sting as a last resort. Yep.
Most people, they see a scorpion, they go the other way. If scorpion strikes a threat pose, most people definitely go the other way.
That is true.
Unless you're their keeper and you're trying to rehouse them. And I've heard a few stories about rehousings of various species gone wrong, but more often than not, scorpions are pretty chill.
Well, and also there's some species that are slightly less chill. And
correct,
and then not even just scorpions, the BSers. Like I've seen a video of a stick bug that makes itself look like a scorpion by the way it folds itself and moves its back for like its back legs forward.
Right, the Butterfly Pavilion has a couple of those species on display.
Yeah,
they're really cool to see.
Yeah, they're completely harmless, but they look terrifying. Like they talk a lot of crap.
That's the point.
It's bluffing. So
it's a form of mimicry that works, though.
Yes, indeed. So the Emperor Scorpion, how big is it?
Not overly large.
Well, it's probably not nearly as big as this. Hold on. Pulmonoscorpius, it means lunged scorpion. It's called that, I think, because this is back when scorpions were first starting to get on the land. And so type is a scorpion. You know, the guys that sting and suck all kinds of ass, I say. I mean, look, I'm an arachnophobe. And I know arachnophobe usually just means spiders. But they are arachnids.
They are arachnids.
So,
they're subfamily.
Yep. So like spiders, mites, and ticks. I'll never forget seeing it. One time when my family, when I was a kid, went to a family member's property in Oklahoma, and we came back and we were trying to get rid of the ticks that were on us because one of them had not quite attached to my dad yet, and so it was crawling on his back like a freaking spider. I'm like, ugh. So.
I mean, to be fair, one of the coolest members of the arachnid family that I've seen, and I've seen small ones up close, sulfugids.
I'm going to regret asking this, but what is that?
So sulfugids, their most famous member is the camel spiders.
Oh no!
Thing is, a lot of forced perspective is used. Yes, some of them can reach with the pedipalps 12 inches long.
No!
But they're actually quite harmless.
I don't care.
They look like aliens.
But
they're really quite harmless. They're really quite cool.
Yeah, I know. All of them are harmless.
In captivity, from what I've heard.
Look, to me, whether or not it's harmless, I don't care. I'm creeped out by them. Like, honestly, the really dangerous spiders, I don't think look as creepy to me. like the creepiest one of all, and I know, completely harmless. Daddy long legs. I hate them. They are so creepy.
They're not even a true spider.
I know. They're like some sort of other bullshit.
They're an arachnid, but they're not a true spider. When I was volunteering at the Butterfly Pavilion, they would jokingly call them M&Ms with legs.
Oh, man. So anyways, well, the size of this Pulmonoscorpius, I don't want to say, but I'm going to. Here we go. 28 inches / 70 centimeters long.
Impressive bugger.
Yeah, making it the largest scorpion, if not one of the largest, if not the largest scorpion that ever lived. Die in a fire, I say.
But it would have served a purpose in its ecological
No, I know it. When I talk smack about all these things, it's because I'm a freaking coward. Like, I know, obviously, like, the world without arachnids would be a terrible, grim place indeed.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times in my basement, sometimes when I'm there and the fly starts bothering me, and I'm like, oh, I wish someone could deal with this fly. And then the fly goes, I'm like, oh, I wonder where I went. And then I see a spider. I'm like, oh, that explains it. Now I have to get rid of the spider, but like I have to, because I don't want any bugs in my house. But like, thank you, spider, for taking care of that annoying fly.
Meanwhile, if a jumper spider's in an inconvenient place in my house, it just gets put out in my garden.
Oh no! I try to make sure I don't kill them. Like I try, but sometimes I try to put them outside when I can. But if I'm cornered and I'm like, I want to get rid of this thing, please, let's just, yeah. But
I mean, to be fair, I'm the doofus who my family calls if they see a black widow in a bad place.
Oh yeah.
And I'll just cut a water bottle in half, grab a paintbrush, tap the widow into half a water bottle and go dump it.
See,
out in the green
those are the
belt
ones that are
mix.
actually dangerous, so that's brave.
They are
of you,
considered
so-
medically significant.
Yeah.
You do want to seek medical attention if you
Yes.
get bit.
But I feel like there's
compared
a lot.
to other things, they are actually not that bad, but they are medically significant.
Yeah, so
enough.
it's like if you get bit and you get medical attention, you're almost certainly going to survive. But like,
there hasn't, if I remember correct, and this is something I was taught years ago, there hasn't been a death associated with a black widow in the United States since the late 60s.
oh wow, damn.
The anti-venom exists.
Anti-venom is such a thing. Like, you know how many deaths happen every year in Australia due to snakes?
Probably several, but probably also less than we think.
Less than you think. It's 2 to 3.
But they also are equipped for dealing
Yeah,
with their
that's the
own
thing.
snakes.
And when you hear that, it's like, what? I was like, for sure that's 2 to 3 a day? Like 2 to 3. No, it's a year. Because, yes, they have incredibly dangerous snakes. And like, I think 10 or 9 of the 10 most venomous snakes in the world are all in Australia.
That
But
would not surprise me.
but
in the
like
least.
they have anti-venoms. You're fine if you get bit. And they're everywhere. Like the anti-venom kits,
Well, and
everyone
they
has
know
one.
which ones are the greater threats, which
Yeah.
ones are more urban versus, say, those in the outback, like the inland taipan that you're not going to encounter super often,
Mhm.
versus an eastern brown snake.
Yeah.
Yes, I know a little bit about Aussie
Mhm.
wildlife because I find them fascinating.
It is, and I've said this in the show before, probably many times, but I'll say it every time because I think it's so funny. There's like a web comic I've seen of American. You can tell it's an American Australian because of the flags on their shirts, and they're walking in an Australian trail, and as they're walking, a snake comes on the trail, and the American starts freaking out. It's like, oh my god, look out! And the Australian's like, don't worry about that thing. It's bloody harmless. Like, yeah, it might have some venom, but we have venom. It's fine. And they keep walking. Then a kangaroo hops on the road, and the American's like, oh wow, look at the kangaroo. And Australian's like, bloody run for it, mate. That thing will tear you apart. like the priorities are different for like what we consider dangerous for what they consider dangerous.
To be fair, if I'm out hiking, encountering a moose is not something I like to do, but it's happened a fair few times. I have more concerns about the moose than the possibility of a timber rattlesnake.
Moose can be really dangerous for sure.
They can be, but they're to be respected.
Indeed. Diet carnivore. I'd wager all scorpions. I can't imagine a herbivorous scorpion.
No. I've heard a few members of the daddy long leg family, though, herbivorous.
Yeah, spiders all carnivorous. Yeah, I'm assuming ticks are. Ticks obviously they drink blood, and then mites. Yep, but I'm assuming maybe daddy long legs for sure. Don't daddy long legs also eat bugs though? That's why everyone says, oh, they're good. They eat all the bad bugs, and even though to me I'm like they're still bad bugs.
The biggest thing, because I've had to debunk some BS about daddy long legs being the most venomous spider in the world.
Yes, I've heard that many times, and I know it's
a
not
bunch
true.
of BS.
No, I know. I've heard.
The thing is, you go to research daddy long leg, and there's a lot of things that are lumped in with the phrase daddy long leg.
Right.
Not just the M&Ms with legs, but sometimes cellar spiders, sometimes crane flies, which aren't even arachnids. They're just very long-legged, awkward flying things.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to define what you mean by daddy long leg.
Right. Have you seen Kong Skull Island, the newer MonsterVerse one?
Some of the animation?
It's not animation, no.
No.
It's a live action. It has Tom Hiddleston and John Goodman and
No.
There's a giant spider in it, and its official name is Mother Longlegs.
I think I've heard.
Yeah, and it looks like bamboo at first. They're crawling through these bamboo forests. Turns out some of the bamboo things move, and it turns out there's been a big Mother Longlegs walking above them the whole time.
I think I've seen clips.
Yeah. Anyway, so time early Carboniferous, 336 to 326 million years ago. So quite a ways back. Far further back than dinosaurs, like at least 100 million years.
To be fair, scorpions will outlive us too.
Oh, yes. Most things will. Location, Scotland. Described 1994. Pop culture appearances. It appears in the miniseries Prehistoric Park, where Nigel Marvin saves one but gets stung by in the process. And also appears in Ark Survival Evolved, where it's so big you can practically ride on one if it would let you, but it doesn't, and thank God for that, I'd say. It's kind of funny. So I don't know if I brought this up on the show before. I always thought this was interesting. So there's two fictional series I've seen that came out a couple years ago, back in the mid 2000s, that had giant scorpions that people later rode. And they each had different ways of describing how it was. So there was a game called Rise of Legends. It was an RTS game that came out in 2006. And there was a desert faction that was like Arabian Nights style, like magical, had genies and rooks and like phoenixes and such. But they had their cavalry was on a giant scorpion, and which is freaking terrifying. And And then there was Clash of the Titans, the remake that came out in 2010 that also had giant scorpions. And later on, some of the Jin in that tamed them and they rode them. And they had like caravans. But anyways, both of them describe it differently. So in Rise of Legends, there was like a lore book on their website that described that riding scorpion as it's walking was so weird because unlike a horse, which like it trots like this, stuff, a scorpion's completely level the whole time. And I'm like, that's an interesting thought. So like you don't even feel yourself going up or down. It's just the legs go up, but the body stays completely level. So you don't even really feel it. Cool. It's more like driving a car than like in Clash of the Titans, they did the opposite thing where they're like, oh, it's really bumpy. Whoa, we're going everywhere like this. And I'm like, I wonder which one's the right one. Because obviously there's no way of knowing.
No.
But unless maybe we stuck a tiny little sensor onto
to be fair, I'm sure scientists have tracked the motion of scorpions by doing similar.
Okay, then maybe there's a real answer.
Maybe, but
So in modern scorpions, their lateral eyes, which are not the only pair of eyes that they have because they're gross, are greatly reduced. But in Pulmonoscorpius, they're quite large. And combined that with the lack of adaptations for a burrowing lifestyle, it can be inferred that these are not quite the shy nocturnal hiders that modern scorpions are, but active diurnal predators that stomped about with its multiple pairs of eyes, scaring the area for its next kill. God, I hate the Carboniferous period.
Yet all the insect lovers I know would absolutely love it.
I know, it's great. Isn't it great? Yay. Modern scorpions are all fully terrestrial, and Pulmonoscorpius is no exception. When you go back this far, you have to make sure if the scorpion is terrestrial or aquatic, because there were marine scorpions like Brontoscorpio, which are actually different from the sea scorpions like Megalograptus and Jaegeloteris, which we've done episodes before because I hate myself. But sea scorpions, most sea scorpions are not actually scorpions. They're a separate group of arthropods called Eurypterids.
Yes, I've heard of the Eurypterids.
Yes,
cool creatures.
Brontoscorpio though is a sea scorpion that was a true scorpion though. So sometimes there were. Why wouldn't there be more than one type of aquatic scorpion-like critter? Even in the modern day, we have lobsters, which are basically sea scorpions without the stinging tail.
Convergent evolution, eh?
Yeah, those are crustaceans, not arachnids. So, yeah. Anyways, speaking of stinging tails, this one had one too with the telson, which is the technical name for the stinging segment of the tail, the size of a small light bulb.
Okay, so pretty good size.
Yeah, it was almost certainly venomous too, which meant it would pack the punch. Or maybe it didn't, because I don't know if you recall the beloved classic that I actually will always defend, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Natasha put her hand on her face.
I've seen enough clips. Maybe watched it a time or two.
At one point, Shia LaBeouf's character gets stung in the hand and freaks out about it. It's like, oh, I got stung. And he's like, how big is the scorpion? And Shia LaBeouf's like, it was huge. And then he's like, good.
So...
because the bigger the better in terms of...
Nope.
Really? That's not true?
Nope. That is actually a load of BS.
Really? Oh, man, that movie got everything else right. I was going to climb into a fridge to evade a nuke.
So that, I know it's been several years, but when I was volunteering at the Butterfly Pavilion, that's something that they actively taught me about. They gave me some generic information. They said it's not 100% foolproof. The way to really gauge a scorpion is to look at its claws.
Okay.
So generally, if it's got big, fat, meaty claws, they're going to use those more than their venom.
Right.
If they've got the long, skinny claws, their venom's going to pack more of a punch.
So it's not about...
I'll point to the bark scorpions here in the United States. However, there are exceptions.
Well, I mean, I figure that's true. It's not always a one-to-one, like, the bigger it is, the less venom it is. No. But there's a sort of a correlation.
No.
Really?
There's no direct correlation.
Ah, that's a shame. Oh, man.
The African death stalker, let's throw that one in the mix.
Okay, it's a giant scorpion that's also...
It's a medium-sized scorpion.
That's also very highly venomous.
Can be lethal.
Oh, boy. Well, then
there
never mind.
There are small scorpions in India, small red ones. Can be lethal. We've got some medium-sized... Again, the bark scorpions here in the United States can be lethal if left untreated. And they're medium-sized scorpions, so there's no correlation. That's
a shame. I understand that movie was incredibly scientific and accurate in every other aspect. So so unfortunately I'll have to keep... I was going to make a joke as well with that. It's like, well, if that's the case, the bigger, the less venomous it is. I'm going to say, this thing's so big, it could practically drink its venom. Yeah, it's a nice, refreshing beverage. Get drunk off of scorpion venom.
I've heard of weirder in fantasy and or D&D campaigns.
Oh, of course. So, like tarantulas, this thing had evidence of little hairs, because why not? Do any modern scorpions have hairs?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering about that. I have my notes here, like I could check that, but as an arachnophobe, I'd rather not. I'd rather not Google, dude, scorpions have little bitty hairs.
The answer is yes.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. Does the emperor scorpion that's at your place, does it have little hairs?
I would have to look that up further. It's been a while since I've seen an emperor scorpion.
Okay.
They're pretty cool. I thought about one for a pet for a while because they're pretty low maintenance.
Yeah, that's.
To be fair, though, if I have the time and capacity, I want a pumpkin patch tarantula.
Oh, wow.
They're cute.
Sure. My arachnophobia is so strong, though, personally, that I crap you not, I've gotten my arachnophobia triggered. Someone shared a Styracosaurus toy on an image of a Styracosaurus toy, and the way it's, because Styracosaurus has those big long spikes on its frill.
Yeah,
they were so long and so pointy, and like they had little black tips on the end. For some reason, and the way it was curved, it triggered my arachnophobia when I saw that. I was like, but it's a freaking dinosaur. I should love them, you know. But no, it's a freaking horned Triceratops-like dinosaur, and it triggered my arachnophobia. I know exposure therapy is not always the key to conquering fear, but sometimes it is. Well, at least not in the fear factor way of dumping yourself into a giant tub of them. But like,
good heavens, no.
But I know
so you'd be hard pressed to believe that I was once arachnophobic.
I think you've told me this before. Exposure therapy did work on you in a way because you worked at the Butterfly Pavilion.
Yeah, and then learning about them, knowledge.
Yes,
not actually touching first, but knowledge, understanding the creature, its environment, the role it plays in its environment, understanding through pictures. Oh, this behavior shows it is calm and collected, but this behavior means it's not in a good mood.
Right. Well, and also again, like I'm not really afraid of them. Afraid is not the right word. I'm creeped out by them because, especially here in Colorado, there's very few of them that are dangerous.
Correct.
So it's more I just don't like looking at them, and I don't like the way they move.
That's fair.
So, but like as long as I don't see it, like I am fine. Like even like so. Like one of the things I've done, so like I live in my parents' basement because I'm a huge nerd and it's hard economic times. So down there in the summer in the bathroom there tends to be spiders. I try to deal with them as best as I can. But sometimes they just come in and there's not much I can do about it. And sometimes they happen so frequently that it makes me scared to like go to the bathroom or take a shower or something. But so the way I deal with it is I just take off my glasses.
Fair.
Because then if I'm in there, because I'm basically blind without these things, and if I see something I think could be a spider, I'm like, well, it could also be one of Lyra's feathers, you know, my
or a dust bunny,
or something. Like I don't need to know. If it starts moving, then maybe I should have a pretty good idea. But like if it doesn't, I'm like I can just have the benefit of the doubt, and then I go out and then I put my glasses back on and none the wiser. So
hey, if it works, it works.
Because again, I'm not really afraid of them. I'm creeped out by them, and I'm very creeped out by this. I cannot imagine crawling through or trudging through a carboniferous swamp and dealing with this thing. Like I could deal with Arthropleura. I could deal with Mesothelae. I could not. Maybe. Well, actually, no. Arthropleura might be a bit much too. No, that also might be a bit. At first, I was like, I could deal with Meganeura, the giant dragonfly, but like it also has the legs too. Although if it's anything like modern dragonflies, it wouldn't be able to walk. Don't modern dragonflies not walk? They just fly. They land, but they don't walk.
I know that they have some capacity with their legs.
Oh, okay.
Because this dork used to, as a kid, catch dragonflies.
Oh, nice.
They can move their legs.
Oh, that's good. Did you do with like a dog when you scratch them? They wiggle.
No,
no, I know, obviously not.
No, as a kid, I was a dork who would watch for the particularly large dragonflies, and as a kid, I had the reflexes to do it. Occasionally, I could catch one out of the air and grab it by the tail.
That's cool, and without hurting it, without like ripping the tail off.
Somehow, don't ask. I was a kid.
That's very precise. Dang.
I don't have those reflexes anymore.
Yeah.
I'll follow them like crazy with my eye, or try to get them with my camera. But
hold on, before we finish, let me get a picture of Pulmonoscorpius. So I don't know, it's basically a scorpion. But yeah, here's a comparison compared to a human.
That's an impressive scorpion.
Yep. frick it to hell. Nah, I get it. It's good. It has its place, and it's dead now. Thank God. So, sorry, I don't mean to be so. I respect them. I would never hurt them on my own. And like this one, though, I feel like it could take a bullet from a shotgun.
To be fair, what from the Carboniferous period couldn't?
Yeah, like I feel like Arthropleura is bulletproof with those ridges on its. Yeah, you have to get like a bazooka to do any damage to it. All right, well, I'm gonna rate 65 million. I'm gonna rate it. Look, and from my arachnophobia thing, I'm going to rate it 65, not million, just 65. But if in terms of like how impressive it is, and from an objective standpoint, it's probably like a 40 or 45 million because it's kind of, it's cool. It's such a big active scorpion existed, but I personally hate it.
See, I'm kind of the opposite because I learned to understand these creatures.
Yeah.
I think they're really actually quite cool. I imagine this thing probably would have glowed under UV light.
Oh, that'd be cool for
like
sure.
their modern counterparts.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, it gets a 50 million out of that one.
Nice.
Because scorpions are actually pretty impressive creatures the more you look at them through the lens of evolution.
Cool. Yeah, I can see that. No, like especially some of them were sea creatures, some of them weren't. And yeah, some of them got really big and they've lasted a long time.
And they've adapted to almost every environment except the icy ones on Earth.
There's no polar scorpions.
No.
There's no snow scorpions.
No. but they've adapted to almost every environment on Earth.
Yeah, there are some snow insects. I mean, not insects, but I've heard the largest land animal in Antarctica is some sort of bug. That's like, because like seals and penguins are considered marine.
Yes.
So the largest land animal in Antarctica, I forget what it was, it's like half an inch long.
I don't remember what it is.
I think it's an insect or a crustacean of some sort. But yeah, so good stuff. Anyways, all right, well, that's it for this week. If you want to get a little show, you can find me at palebytespodcast@gmail.com or Palebytes Podcast on Blue Sky. Not Twitter. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I've deactivated my Twitter account because Elon Musk can go to hell. Even though I have a Tesla. I'm actually got a bumper sticker on the way that has the text, I like electric, not Elon, on it. Because I don't want anyone to see my car and associate me with the guys. Like, I would never get a Cybertruck, for instance.
You mean those driving garbage kids?
Yeah, just... there's a great sound bit on TikTok that's like, you'd be having a great day, the sun's shining, a birds is chirping, you're in a chipper ass mood, and here come a Cybertruck. Just piss you off. Why does it look like that? It's so funny.
To be fair, the Jetsons designed better.
Oh, no, for sure. That was back when the future was all curvy instead of boxy.
To be fair, there were some gorgeous cars out of the 1950s. Somebody figure out how to make those fuel efficient, please, because they are beautiful.
Cars back in the day. Look, I don't mean to be like, back in the day, things were so much better, blah, blah. I'm not usually that kind of person. But cars... Yeah, look, again, okay, from a technical standpoint, obviously our modern cars are better. But in terms of aesthetics? Yes. Like, the old cars were so much better, and they were much curvier, and also better in colors, too. All the cars nowadays are either black, white, or maybe red, maybe blue.
Yeah.
There's no other color. Like, back in the 60s and 50s, you had, like, pastel green, like pastel blue.
To be fair, liking something from the past isn't a bad thing.
No, I know. I think as long as we're all nostalgic.
Context.
We're all nostalgic for certain things. I'm also on Instagram at Palebytes Podcast. Where can they find you?
So I don't have Twitter.
Yes, good.
I might have had it for a short time, but I've ignored it.
Yes.
I am on Instagram at NK Arts and Crafts.
Yes.
I limit my postings because it's associated with Meta, and their AI policy is bullshit.
Yes. Aren't you on Etsy now, or what's the one you're on?
Yeah. I'm on Kara.
That's right. Yes.
And then I'm on Facebook.
Okay, I guess Facebook's a little bit like, that's more just for friends. You don't just follow people on Facebook. I guess if you have a professional account,
but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Instagram and Kara right now.
Okay, cool. At what did you say, at NK Arts and Crafts?
On Instagram, and Blues Arts and Crafts on Kara.
Cool. All right, well, that's it for this week. It's the end of every episode of Paleo Bites. What was that ASMR thing where they tap the microphone? It's just the crocodile, not the crocodile, the scorpion, just like